Okay, so in the last video, we did scientific notation with positive exponents. That looked something like this, right? We learned that the exponent determines where the decimal moves to. The decimal point is going to move to the right 3 times. Now, with negative exponents, you have to do something slightly different. We can do the same problem as we did down below. 5.2 times 10, now to the negative third instead of the positive third. And if you know, you have to know what negative exponents do to a number. What a negative exponent does is it's going to take this 10, so we're going to have 5.2 times, instead of 10 to the negative third, you have 1 over 10 to the third. Right? That's what negative exponents do. They take that number and they put it underneath 1, and it makes the exponent positive. Now, we could also write this as 5.2 times 1/10 times 1/10 times 1/10, or as 5.2 times 1 over 1,000. I'm going to use this way just so that I can show you how it works step by step the same way as we did in the last video. So if you take 5.2 and you multiply it by 1/10, and we know that 1/10 equals 0.1, it's going to do the opposite that multiplying 5.2 times 10 does. Because if you take 5.2 and you multiply it by 10, you get 52. So it makes it one decimal point bigger. Now, if you multiply it by 1/10, it makes it 1 decimal point smaller. So instead of getting 52 when you when you multiply it by 10, 5.2 times 1/10 gives you 0.52, because we took that decimal point and we moved it to the right one, or to the left one. And then we bring our other 1/10ths down. So 52 times 1/10 times 1/10. Now, 0.52 times 1/10 is, we need to make it 1 decimal point smaller. So now we're going to go 0.052. Bring our last 1/10 down. Now 0.052 times 1/10, we need to make it smaller one more time, and we get 0.0052. If we compare this to the original 5.2, our decimal point used to be right here between the 5 and the 2, and we've moved it over 1, 2, 3 to the left. So we moved it 3 to the left. That's what that negative exponent does. The positive exponent takes the decimal and moves it 3 to the right. The negative exponent takes that decimal and moves it 3 to the left. We could do this with other problems, such as, let's see, we could do 1.625 times 10 to the negative 5th. And what we do is we do 1.625. We know our decimal point started right here between the 1 and the 6, and we're going to move it to the left 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add our decimal point there. Put in our zeros. And that's what your answer is going to be. Let's try it with something bigger. So 5 times 10 to the negative 15th, you're going to start with 5. Your decimal point started right here, and you're going to move it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Add your decimal there and put in all those zeros. Now when I do one with this many zeros, I just like to go through and double check to make sure that I wrote enough zeros after I'm done. So decimal point is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's where the decimal point started. So that is what 5 times 10 to the negative 15 would be. You can do it backwards, just like you can do with positive exponents. So if you started out with a number like 0.003964, and you're trying to turn that into an scientific notation, the first time that we can get a number that's over 1 is going to be, right there at 3. So the decimal point is going to have to be between 3 and 9. So we know that what we're trying to get to is 3.964, because that's between 1 and 10. The decimal point, we want to put it there, but right now it's at 1, 2, 3, it's 4 over. So we multiply it by 10. We didn't know the power before, but since we're moving the decimal 4 places, we make it a negative 4. We could do the same thing with, let's try 0.539. We're trying to turn that into scientific notation. The first time we're going to get a number between 1 and 10 is going to be 5.39 right after this 5. So we're going to try to get 5.39. Multiply that by 10 to a power. We're not sure what it is yet. The decimal's here. We want it to be right here. That is only one space. So we make the power negative 1. Now, I know that sometimes when I was learning this, it was hard for me to figure out which direction to go when I was using these negative and positive exponents. Sometimes I would accidentally go the direction of a negative exponent with a positive exponent, or the other way around. The way that I remember it now is that if you have a decimal point, if you have a small number, then you're going to have a negative. Or if you have a negative, if you see a negative in your scientific notation, you know that this number right here is going to be getting smaller. If you see an exponent in your problem that's positive, you know that this number is going to be getting bigger. Up here, you know that it's going to be getting smaller, right? So 5.2 turned into this decimal with a negative exponent. 5.2 turned into 5,200 with a positive exponent.